Hello aspirants, looking at current affairs for 4th December. The news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 5. We'll discuss them in detail. In yesterday's newspaper too, there was no important articles. So on Sundays, if there are important articles covered, it will be picked up. Otherwise, there are repetition of the same articles which are covered throughout the week. So there is no need for going into in-depth study. And even in SNT section, which is covered on Sundays, the articles which come up every week, you cannot keep on collecting those articles throughout the year because they are on minor developments which take place in SNT amongst Indian researchers. So a huge amount of that data would even again be not fruitful. So any important article which would be there, we would be covering that up. Even on Mondays, generally it is seen that not many articles of significance come because again it's a day covering the news of the weekend. So presently there are 5 articles. The first news is Iran inaugurates Chabahar port. So this is regarding the Chabahar port in Iran. So India has also contributed to the construction of the Chabahar port. The first phase of the Shahid Beheshti port in Sistan Baluchistan province of Iran has been inaugurated presently. So this port will contribute to regional trade, provide Afghanistan with alternate access to global markets. So that is the significance of this project. India also gives significance to this because it will give it an alternate route through Iran to Afghanistan rather than Pakistan, which does not give us access. So that is there. So it's an important route for India and Afghanistan to bypass obstacles posed by Pakistan for trade on the direct route. Also, it will be a feeder port to the international north-south transport corridor. So this international north-south transport corridor also, we'll look at the map of it too. So this will give access basically to Central Asia, to Russia and Central Asia. So this is there. Also, it is very close to the Gwadar port in Pakistan, which China is building under its Belt and Road Initiative and the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Initiative, which is a part of the Belt and Road Initiative. So this Gwadar port is around 80 kilometers away from Chabahar port. So that is there. India has committed $50 million to building 2 berths at Chabahar port. So this is being undertaken. Also, it will help in developing an economic zone around these ports. So $1.6 billion has been provided for 650 kilometer rail link from Chabahar to Zahedan and into Afghanistan. So these are the developments which are taking place. India's investment into this region here. So that is there. Also, Iran has seen sanctions from US. There are fears of sanctions too, but this is one project, the Chabahar port project, which has been seen the light of the day. We are seeing that currently construction has been done successfully and the first phase has been inaugurated. So here you can see the details provided here too. Even in October 2017, the first consignment of wheat as such was sent via ship to Afghanistan. So through Iran. So here you can see from Kandla in Gujarat in India, the sea route can be used to reach Gulf of Oman. Here the Chabahar, this is the Gulf of Oman. This is the Chabahar port, the only oceanic port of Iran. And then from Chabahar port, you can go reach up to Zahedan and then Zaranj and Kabul in Afghanistan. So even India has contributed to development of road here. The Zaranj-Dilaram road in Afghanistan has also been constructed with Indian assistance. And now the Chabahar port is also being opened up. This is the Gwadar port of Pakistan, which is part of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and the Belt and Road Initiative. So here you can see. So this will be India's primary gateway to Afghanistan and Central Asia, the Chabahar. Right? And it will help India ramp up trade between India, Afghanistan and Iran, and in the wake of Pakistan denying transit facilities. So otherwise another route for India, land route, is from India to Pakistan to Afghanistan. But Pakistan denies it as transit. And this is regarding the north-south transport corridor too, which will open up the gateway from India. If you reach Iran, then you can reach the Central Asian countries and also Moscow. So this is the north-south transport corridor in red shown. So standard route presently used, the sea route is this to reach Moscow, but north-south transport corridor will give quick connectivity. So this is there. The countries part of north-south transport corridor are India, Azerbaijan, Iran and Russia. Right. Then next is The Baba Budangiri dispute before Supreme Court. So this is regarding a dispute regarding a controversial cave shrine on Baba Budangiri, the hills here near Chikamagaluru in Karnataka. So here it's a title dispute, means it is a land dispute and in the Supreme Court. So BJP and Hindutva groups are demanding that the shrine be declared a Hindu place of worship, while it is actually under a Waqf board. It was in 1975 when Karnataka government transferred the shrine from Muzrai department to the Waqf board. So this is actually a pilgrimage site where both Hindus and Muslims visit, and it's actually an act in place, the Places of Worship Special Provisions Act of 1991. It prohibits the conversion of a religious nature of any place of worship from its existence or as on the day of India achieving independence. So you cannot convert the religious nature of any place of worship. So this is there, so you should know about it. Here these are the shrines. Here you can see the Baba Budangiri shrine. Then next is watch out for ransomware in 2018. So this is a report by McAfee Inc. So this has given a detailed report regarding ransomware attacks which may take place in the near future. So ransomware attacks in cyberspace are likely to increase and become more sophisticated in the coming year 2018, targeting high net worth individuals and corporates, according to this report. It also warns individual home users that greater interconnected home devices will surrender consumer privacy to corporates, because there are these agreements and the corporates actually work on thin profit margins, and they overcome it by gathering more of personal data with or without agreement. And even the agreements, generally it is accepted even without reading. The privacy agreements are rarely read by customers, so you have to accept it. So this is also a concern, that they may be taking up more private data to know consumer behavior and then understand their buying needs and preferences as per the device owners activities. So this is also a concern being raised in this group, in this report. And also it talks of cyber attacks, ransomware attack which we saw presently in 2017. So this is also being spoken of here. So WannaCry and NotPetya were the prominent ransomware attacks which took place, in which attackers limited the user's access to their own devices system, and then a certain ransomware was demanded if it is for unlocking the system. So ransomware had to also be paid in terms of bitcoins. So then the tracing would also become difficult. So here now, as ransomware attacks are being tackled, because vendor defenses come forth, so that then user education is taking place, users are being informed, even industry strategies are improving. So then the report says, because of this, now traditional ransomware campaigns will decline, but then they would be attacking high net worth individuals and corporates in a more sophisticated manner. So this is a prediction being made here. And here you can see ransomware also detailed out. So this is regarding the malicious code which blocks access to the data in your computer. So an encryption key is there which locks all your data, and without the key all the files on your computer are locked. And then you may receive this infected file typically as an email or as a URL, and if you open it, then the malicious code is run into your computer and everything gets locked. Then a message appears in ransomware that when you try to open a file, that you pay the ransom, and payment is generally in terms of bitcoins. So if you don't pay, your encrypted files are lost, and if you pay to an anonymous recipient, then you will get all the data unlocked, but then the tracing of that payment is difficult. The next is GST paid is ceiling for monthly refund claim exporters. So the GST network, which is the IT infrastructure for implementation of goods and services tax, that is the services. So this GST network has asked exporters to ensure that the amount of refund claimed in a particular month does not exceed the GST paid in that month. So for exporters, we are seeing input tax credit delay is a concern. Their liquidity has also been affected, as has been reported quite often. So now GST network is saying that the amount of refund they are claiming is actually in a particular month is actually more than the GST they pay in that month. the tax which they pay. So this is creating a hindrance for the government, and that's why the GST network says to help avoid delay or rejection of integrated GST refund demand, this should be ensured. Also, last month, Central Board of Excise and Customs began refunding for exporters of goods who had paid integrated GST and claimed refunds based on shipping bills. So this is there. So for the first 4 months now, the GST refunds claimed by the exporters actually go to 6,500 crore, which the government has to pay to them. So this is a concern here, you can see. This is the GST network shown that how tax authorities and even central state IT systems are interconnected through this interface, the GST network system, which provides connectivity, access to taxpayers, and then it is also accessed by state accounting agencies and also other network of banks and RBI. And the GST network, it's a not-for-profit company which has ownership as such. Center has 24.5% share, state government has 24.5% share, and remaining you can see 10% for these 4 entities and 11% for LIC and finance. NSC, HDFC Bank, HDFC and ICICI hold stake here. And this is regarding the exporters refund claim. So input tax credit which they claim as a refund is based on the taxes which have already been paid by those from whom they have procured goods. So GST is also value addition tax. So taxation should only be on value addition. So the tax which has already been paid earlier, they don't have to pay. So what tax they are paying, they will get a refund on it. So this is that. Then next is what's behind the Bitcoin boom. So this is regarding Bitcoins. In past year as such, you can see in 2017 itself, the price of Bitcoin has increased tenfold. It has leaped to $10,000 this week. So tenfold increase from $1,000 to $10,000 has been seen, and many investors are feeling that they are missed out because they are not investing in Bitcoins but investing in stocks. But then it is said that Bitcoins is a risky venture. So it may be a bubble brewing in Bitcoins also. It's hard to say about it because there's no valuation measure. Bitcoin's price is determined by demand-supply dynamics. Also, Bitcoin started at rupees 600 in November 2012. So it actually started in 2010. In 2012, it was at around 600, and now in terms of rupees, it's at 6.8 lakh. So it's a 300% annualized return, compared to Sensex, where you will get 11.5% returns despite a bull market, which is doing well. So this is the issue with Bitcoins, that it has seen a huge leap in its value. So that is a gain for investors in Bitcoins. Bitcoins is said to have been invented by a person named Satoshi Nakamoto, though the person, is this a real name or is this a real person is not known. But there has been a finite limit put on the number of Bitcoins that can be mined as such. So out of the total Bitcoins which can be mined, it's a limit of 21 million as such. And out of this, already 80%, 16.7 million have been already mined, means already generated. You cannot generate more than 21 million Bitcoin. So that puts a limit on the commodity. So Bitcoin supply is limited, and also it is said that even the existing Bitcoin supply, out of it, many have gone missing too because of lost hard disks, forgotten passwords, and also it is said that Nakamoto himself may have taken away some of the Bitcoins, a good number of Bitcoins. So that was also a concern, that some have been stockpiled by investors also. So the supply is limited, and then the demand as such, when seen increasing, then it results in a boom. Also, the algorithm which has been developed to generate new Bitcoins, it becomes more complex over time. So as the number of Bitcoins generated keeps on increasing, the amount of even the calculations required and the amount of energy required for developing new Bitcoins also becomes difficult. It requires huge amount of electricity and also the CPU capacity to have new Bitcoins generated now. And then finally it talks about Bitcoins being stolen too. So there are these cases also which come up in which Bitcoins are stolen from exchanges. Then also there was a 2-year lull in the Bitcoin market because of it. Then a breakaway faction of Bitcoin Cash, it fogged off from the main Bitcoin blockchain. So such volatility is also present in Bitcoin. So how stable and how less risky is this investment is also concerned. So also in some countries like in China, Bitcoins were having, actually it was having more than 80% of volume share. But China, it declared Bitcoins illegal, banned. So then it is the Japanese and US exchanges which control 2/3 of volumes of Bitcoins now. Even in India, there is regulation being sought to be made on virtual currencies like Bitcoin, but RBI is still undecided. It has always given disclaimers and warnings that Bitcoins are not authorized by them, and there is a potential financial, operational, legal, customer protection and security related risks with Bitcoins. So this is regarding that. So here you can see how the Bitcoin has also zoomed up over the years from 2012 to 2017. So this is the detail given and the volatile nature also discussed here of Bitcoins. How Bitcoins work, as I discussed, it is mined. So Bitcoins are mined, means they are created. When you solve an algorithm, it's a cryptocurrency. So there's a crypto code which has to be solved. Once that code is solved, the Bitcoin is generated and there's a blockchain which is maintained. So a blockchain keeps a detail regarding all Bitcoins generated, all transactions taking place too. So they are validated through a group of people who are there on this network. So it's a peer-to-peer network and it is decentralized. Means it's not centrally controlled by any authority. It is decentralized, open for all. So the blockchain is open for all, and through peer-to-peer review, every transaction is also authorized and also Bitcoins generated are updated. Then Bitcoins, they can be used like virtual currencies when you have, digital currencies. So just like digital currencies, they can also be transaction in terms of Bitcoins. So it depends on its acceptability. So those who accept payments in terms of Bitcoins, there are even some online websites where Bitcoins are accepted in payments. You can use it as an exchange. So actually the Bitcoin's viability depends on its acceptability. So this is an important point. So these are the news items. Thank you.